Greetings from the Advocates Effect. My name is Daniel.
And my name is James. Whether it was apologizing to BP, the Fair Elections Now Act passing out of a U.S. House committee, or the Supreme Court declaring that corporations were people, when it comes to spending money in elections, 2010 was a big year for news about money in the political process.
It certainly was, James. We begin our series on the top stories of 2010 on money in politics with an introduction to the Fair Elections Now Act.
Special interests pump millions of dollars into our elections, giving them more influence over the political system than anyone. Until we fix our broken campaign finance laws, these special interests will block substantive reform, from the left, and from the right, on issue after issue.
We need a clean system of campaign financing, one where politicians pay attention to principle and the public will, rather than the need for campaign funds. Reforming the system will never be Congress's first priority, until a grassroots movement gives politicians a choice. You can have our support or special interest money, but not both.
What is the Fair Elections Now Act? The bipartisan Fair Elections Now Act was offered this year by Senators Dick Durbin, Democrat Illinois, and Arlen Specter, Democrat Pennsylvania, and Representatives John Larson, Democrat Connecticut, and Walter Jones, Republican North Carolina. With senior leaders in the Senate and House taking the lead, and 135 co-sponsors in the House alone, the bill has strong champions in both houses of Congress.
Under this legislation, congressional candidates who raise a threshold number of small dollar donations would qualify for a chunk of funding, several $100,000 for the House, millions for many Senate races. If they accept this funding, they can't raise big dollar donations. But they can raise contributions up to $100, which would be matched 4-to-1 by a central fund. Reduced fees for TV airtime is also an element of this bill, creating an incentive for politicians to opt into this system and run people-powered campaigns.
This isn't a Democratic issue or a Republican issue. It is important for everyone to understand that this is a fundamental question about what kind of democracy we want to have. To learn more about the bill, go to publiccampaign.org.
You can also read e-bills, see the sponsors, and track all major congressional actions and votes at thomas.gov. Reference the Senate version of the bill as S.752, or the House version of the bill as H.1826.
Educating the public is key, and we want to guarantee that nothing will stand in the way of fundamental reform. We advocate that we work toward writing this reform into our founding document, the Constitution itself. Passing the Fair Elections Now Act is an essential first step toward restoring trust in our democracy.
We hope you will subscribe to these important educational efforts as we work to bring you a greater understanding of the importance to our nation and our nation's futures.